Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to our Chicago Blackhawks franchise mode here in NHL 23. So, in last episode, we made a very big free agent signing, bringing in Cale Makar from the Colorado Avalanche to help boost our offense. Well, that didn't really help out our team to start the season. As you can see, we are 16, 15, and 3, and we are just outside of a wildcard spot. So, at least we're still kind of contending for that wildcard spot. But this team should be doing a lot better than they are. The offensive production hasn't been really the best, and I really don't know what the question is. Like, we have good depth scoring, but it seems like no real player is taking off in points. Connor Zari's leading the team in points, which makes no sense whatsoever. You also got like Nazar and Holton and up there. Vance has hit 20 points, same with Byfield. So, like, the depth scoring is there, but we aren't scoring enough in terms of depth, which is weird. So I don't really know what this team needs in order to be better. Also, Cale Makar's off to a little bit of a sluggish start, I'd say. 19 points in 34 games. Hopefully him and like Girard and stuff like that could pick it up in the second half. Makar only has 2 power play points, which is really concerning. So hopefully he could do a little bit better, considering Korchinski is usually the guy that's leading the power play, which he is right now on the defensive end. And at our goaltending, Komeso's had a really rough start, but Tarasov has been fantastic. So I don't know if the things are going to randomly just sort themselves out in the second half of the season or not. We are going to be making some coaching changes, though, to try and get our team to work. As I was doing in the end of last episode, I did basically demote our current head coach, which was Durrett, over to our associate coach, and then I made Chevrier our head coach because he's more of a generalist and he does work better with the team at 66%. The only problem is he doesn't really work with like Korchinski that well, but like he does work with like Byfield, Vance, Holton, and like the guys that you'd want him to. So yeah, this guy's going to be taking over as our head coach for the season, or the rest of the season, maybe not. The rest of the season depends on that. Also, because of a comment that I got from Hockey Guy 88, which he said, I think Chevrier should be your new coach. He seems to fit pretty well in the lineup. You should also fire Durrett, since he's a veteran specialty and will never work for the team. Also, you should definitely call up Ricky. So he's saying basically to fire Durrett, which is what we're going to be doing, because I did already offer a contract over to a new associate coach, which he basically is a head coach. So this guy could end up being our head coach at some point too. Jordan James, I think it's pronounced. He's got 65% team fit. He works pretty well with mostly everybody except for Korchinski again, which is kind of eh. But yeah, basically James apparently was a head coach of the Colorado Avalanche quite a few years ago, which is kind of interesting because obviously we just brought in Cale Makar, so maybe he will help out Cale Makar and bring him to his offensive level where he needs to be if he's our head coach. But he'll probably be our assistant coach for now, and then we might move him to being our head coach at some point. But he's not necessarily the best coach in the world, it seems like, based on his wins and stuff, but I'm hoping that he'll be a good one to have on our bench. So yeah, I offered him a contract, which means, yeah, let's go ahead and fire Durrett into the sun. He really didn't do much with us as a head coach, I don't think. Let's just take a look at his records with us the last 3 years. Like, he had a really solid first year, and then he's been kind of getting worse every single year since then. And then he also coached in Columbus a bit, and his playoff numbers are not that good. He did win a Stanley Cup with Columbus, it looks like, but he never won one with us, and now he is going to get launched into the sun. So there you go. Let's fire Durrett, and he is gone. And then hopefully that coach we offered a contract to accepts, and then our coaching staff should be good for the rest of the season. Now, what's interesting is both these coaches that we currently have are both, like, their styles are more physical based, which is interesting. So I don't know if our team's going to be taking more penalties or not. I've never really had a physical coach, so we'll be interested to see what that happens with that. The other coach that we just offered a contract to is a generalist, though, so he'll be a little bit more balanced in terms of things. Okay, so now that that is done, let's get into the rest of the comments. So the next one from Saturn Otaku, who says, the Vance signing is Drysdale caliber and should look like a steal by the time he reaches his peak years. So I totally agree with that. So basically we sent a 8-year extension to Vance already. As you can see, he's making $975K because of his ELC, but then we got him on a great steal of a contract. 8 years at $8.375 million. So this guy is making less money than guys like Byfield, less money than Girard right now. He's also making less money than Halttunen, which is interesting. So I think we got him on a really good steal of a contract, and yeah, hopefully he ends up reaching that high elite potential and scoring like 50 goals a season, because that will look like a really good steal of a contract for sure. The next two comments are from Christopher Davis. He says, definitely go out for a new coach before deciding to move Gerard, just to see if any potential trade pieces will fit the new scheme. Recchi is a legend in the making, but let him play in the AHL for a full season. Also, hype you were able to sign Makar. So he's saying to get a new coach, which we just offered a contract to an associate coach. He could end up being our head coach this season or even next season. And then also, yeah, Recchi is definitely a legend in the making, I think. I don't think I'm going to be calling him up like you were saying. I think I am going to leave him in the AHL at least till the trade deadline, because as you can see, this guy's up to an 80 overall, and he's already in the AHL. He's almost point per game, 20 points in 28 games. He's 19 years of age, and yeah, his attributes are getting much better. So if he gets up to like an 82, 83, we could easily just bring him in to probably fit, like even maybe on our second line if he develops up to like an 84, 85 by the end of the season. So I might call him up after the trade deadline, depending on where he is and where our team is in terms of winning games, because if we're not going to make the playoffs, obviously we might as well just give him a shot if he's actually like listed as like a second or third liner, or we might just wait till next season to give him his debut, because that way he has a better chance at winning the Calder Trophy. But I would really like to see him in the lineup as soon as possible. Also, Christopher says Asher Vance refrigeration, which I didn't really know what he meant by that, but I had to look it up, and apparently it's a reference to The Office, which is pretty interesting. So I guess we could say when Vance is like on a cold streak that he's actually refrigerated or something like that. I don't really know what to do with that for his jokes. Like, we could come up with like a kind of like a, I don't know, like a nickname for him if you guys have any ideas. But yeah, hopefully Vance becomes a good channel legend for this team and for my entire franchise modes. And then the last and final comment is from Yanni Pekka Savinas. He says, absolutely the first thing on the to-do list is to change your lines. Nazar is not a good fit for the first line. 2 OFDs won't simulate good at all. And the penalty kill needs a complete makeover. I throw Lambert and Halttunen on the first-rate wing spot and take Khrushchev off the second power play. Defensively, Brunstrom should be on the top pair and take the possible minus chemistry to the lowest possible pair. The B- graded coaches rarely do a great job. Are a good job, so I look for a good one ASAP. So I already went ahead and made a lot of line changes, if you couldn't tell. So Nazar has been moved down back to the second line. Halttunen's now back onto the top line. And then I also changed up our defensive core a bit, so Brunstrom's up with Makar to make it a +3. I moved Korchinski down to the top 6, which is a little bit weird, but that's the only way to make this defensive pairing not like a -2. So basically it's balancing all out our top defenders, and then Regula's playing with him. Edvinson's getting a chance to play in the top 4, which is a bit weird, but it's just basically to get our best chemistry possible on our defensive front. And then, yeah, still Komesso and Tarasov. I didn't change anything about our power play lines, I don't think. Yeah, I didn't change anything about our power play lines, so we'll probably end up leaving that for now. Yeah, I think we'll probably end up leaving that for now. And then our penalty kill lines, though, on the other hand, I changed it a tiny bit. Like, I didn't change too much. Our penalty kill's been really bad so far. But I did change up one thing, which is putting Quinton Byfield on the third line penalty kill, just because he's better at faceoffs. And I forget who was there. I think it was Vance that was there. And Vance obviously is an offensive kind of player, but he's got good defensive stats. But gave a chance to Byfield to play on that 3-man penalty kill and the 4-man penalty kill as well. So hopefully that helps out with the team a little bit in terms of the penalty kill. Otherwise, we could always change the coach over to the one that we offered a contract to. So anyways, that is that. Let's simulate and see what's going to happen with this new coach, if he actually does a decent job or not. And if he's kind of losing a bunch of games, maybe the coach that we're trying to hire, maybe he will be the head coach as well this season. We're trying to find our best coach possible for this team and get this team to simulate as good as possible as well. I don't think I'm going to be making any trades this episode regardless of what happens, just because we do have a lot of stuff to get through. But should be interesting to see what this team could do. I might only just simulate up to the trade deadline, so I could leave the last little bit of the season for next episode, but it would be a shorter episode if I did that. So we'll see where we end up. Let's go all the way to, I guess, the 16th. just so we could do a little bit of a trial run with this new coach and see what he does in his first few games. There's James, he accepts, so he might end up being the head coach if we lose a bunch, which we drop 2 games in a row, but then we win 3 straight. Okay. And we lose another shootout 1 and lose a regulation 1. So he had points in 5 of those 7 games, which is not bad, but our record is still very weird. Cale Makar's leading the team in points now all of a sudden, though, which is really good. I don't think he was... Yeah, he had, like, how much points did he have? Like, 19 points, so he's dropped another 10 points in the last while. It's kind of weird that Cale Makar's leading the team in points, though, but do we want to keep with the current head coach, or do we want to see what the other coach is like? Like, let's just take a look at what the other coach is looking like chemistry-wise, and see if it fixes anything. And then we can make Chevier probably an assistant coach again. So let's demote you right now to goalie coach. We'll make you our head coach for a second, and we'll make you our associate coach. And then we'll see if James is a better fit as our head coach for this team. We just want this team to make the playoffs, obviously. In terms of chemistry-wise, it's not terrible offensively. Defensively looks good with Brunstrom and Makar. I like that. But Gorchinski, oh, but the rest of the defensive core does not work that well at all. Yeah, so this guy, there's nothing we can really do to fix it unless we move Girard down to the top 6, which is kind of weird. But, I mean, I think the real-life Colorado Avalanche did that. Didn't they have him on a top 6 pairing at some point? I don't know if it's worth it doing it like that. Having Girard on the top 6. Like, I feel like he's getting first-line power play time, though, right? No, he's not getting first-line power play. He's not going to get a lot of ice time. Actually, he's not even on the power play. Okay, that's an interesting one. So maybe that's why our team's not doing too well. Let's say Korchinski off the power play and give Sam Girard power play time. I don't know why he's not on the power play. It doesn't make it a minus, but we'll still try it anyways. Because Sam Girard is a very solid offensive defenseman. I know it gives it minuses, but we need to get our offense going a little bit more. Yeah, we'll try out this new coach as well. See what he could do for this team. Because, see, he probably works decent with Vance. So, yeah, we'll just try this new coach as well. See who works best, and then make our decision, I guess. And yeah, we'll probably end up simulating the rest of the season. I think I want to go almost just to the trade deadline just to see what we could do for trades, but I might just want to get the rest of the season done with, because even if we miss the playoffs, it's not necessarily the end of the world, because we're still a team that's kind of like trying to find our way in a sense, you know. Ooh, a 7-1 the loss in our first game with that new coach. That's not a great sign, but we didn't beat St. Louis 2 times in a row, 4-2. Yeah, this is a really weird season. Like, I don't even know if we're going to make the playoffs at this rate at all. Come on, guys. Oh, my goodness. 21-21-5. We are 4 points back of a wild card spot still. So we're still in a spot to make the playoffs potentially. But, yeah, it's kind of slipping away from us a little bit. Vance is now leading the team in points, which is good. So Vance is starting to pick up the offense, which is something we needed him to do. He's up to 24 goals in 47 games, so he is scoring a lot more goals as well. Which means I think he might be on pace for his best goal total season yet of his career, which is obviously good just because we gave him a 8-year extension that kicks in next season. Yeah, this is a really weird season. Let's see if anything has improved in terms of our team stats, because I'm curious if we're getting better, like power play percentage wise and stuff like that. Let's see, offense. Is our offense getting better? I think it's still right around the mid-table, but we're still below our goals against. Yeah, we're still not the best defensive team in the league, but we're not the best it's just below mid-table. It's really tough to tell with this team. We still have the best power play in the league, which is really weird. And our penalty kill has improved. Okay, so that's not bad. We're not the worst power play team anymore, our penalty kill team. We're still terrible on home ice, but we're decent on the road. Yeah, I don't know what to make of this team. Like, this team is like 25th in the NHL, did it say? And we are still fighting for a chance at the playoffs, which is really interesting. Yeah, we're 25th in the league, but we are not too far back of a playoff spot. So let's keep simulating. I really don't know what to do with this. I think this might be the weirdest simulation I've had in the season ever. But I hope this team randomly just has like a resurgence where we start winning games and that helps us get into the playoffs. But if we don't make the playoffs, like I said, there is a franchise guy that's supposed to go first overall. So if we get him, then that would be pretty nice. But let's simulate more and see what happens as we get closer to the deadline. There's a win over St. Louis again. We've won 3 times against St. Louis in this episode. And Cale Makar has been injured with an injured neck. At least it's not too long term, but that's still a pretty big blow to the defensive core. There's a win again. There's a loss again. Makar is back. That's good because we don't need Makar to be out for that long. There you go. Yeah, this is weird. Sam Girard's jumped up to an 88 statistically, so I guess he's having a good time on that top 6 pairing. We're down 25, 23, and 5. How far are we still back of a playoff spot? 4 points back with 1 game in hand. How about over here? Oh, wow. Okay. The Pacific Division's way better than this division. So, yeah, games against the Predators are pretty huge. Since we're 1 game back of them, then we could technically be at 57 points in the same amount of games played, which means technically we're only like 2 points back in a sense. As long as the Predators lose a bunch of games, we might be able to get into the playoffs somehow. But, yeah, the Vance is almost at 30 goals, which is good considering he's been a 30-goal man all every year of his career, but he might hit 40 goals this season. And yeah, since he's doing better offensively with his new coach, I obviously am going to keep this head coach even if this team doesn't make the playoffs. But let's continue to simulate. Let's go to the first. See if we could get some wins because we need to make it into the postseason if possible. I just don't really know why this team isn't really simulating a lot better than they should be. It's like a really streaky team. Don't want Pajot, no thank you. Okay, so 28, 25, and 5. We still have a couple games before the deadline. We're 5 points back of the Wild now. And the Predators are also taking off a little bit. They're 5 points up on us with 1 game more played than us. So we're going to have a really good post-deadline, basically, in order to make the playoffs. So I don't really feel safe making trades and like getting rid of like our first-round pick to make our team better. So I feel like I should just keep the team as is and see if this team makes the playoffs or not. Vance is leading us with 47 points. So, yeah, offense is still a little bit inconsistent. But at least it's performing better than it was earlier in the season. What could we do to make this maybe better? How's Recchi looking? He's up to an 82. He still lists as a depth forward. And he's got 34 points in 51 games. Yeah, he's looking insane. I don't think I'm going to call him up yet because I want to make sure he's just getting as much growth as possible down there. But I feel like I should be calling him up to help us get into the playoffs as like a late season heroic type player. Because, like, I mean, Gavin Hayes, I don't really know if he's like really an NHLer. I mean, he's actually okay. He's a +3 this season. He's got 17 points just playing 4th line minutes pretty much. That's not terrible. It's not terrible at all. I think I'm going to keep the team as is. I don't think I'm going to call up Recchi yet, but I might call him up in like the final few games of the season or maybe just wait till next season. I think I might actually give him like the last 5 games of the regular season in the NHL and then send him back down for the AHL playoffs because the AHL team should be a playoff team. But I don't think I'm going to be making any trades to help us get into the playoffs just because I don't really know what to make of this team at this moment. There's a 4-0 win over Ottawa, and I don't know about this game against St. Louis, but this team at least is starting to win some more games. We're still 5 points back. The Preds are winning too much games as of late, which is not good for us in terms of making the playoffs. But if we win like more than 50% of our games, like say 60-70%, and somehow like the Preds or the Wild drop a bunch of games, we could somehow make it in. Otherwise, I don't see this team making the playoffs because we're 10 points back of the other wildcard spots. So likely the only way to get it in is to either beat out the Wild or the Predators at this rate. But yeah, let's continue simulating. I don't really care too much about making trades and this season just because it's kind of a weird one. But next season, obviously, if we're contending, maybe it'd be good to make some trades because I don't really make a whole lot of trades in franchise modes. So let's go to a day after the deadline and see what this team is looking like. There's a 7-3 win. Let's go. That's a nice win to have. Let's go continue simulating because we're not going to make any trades. But yeah, this team is definitely picking it up as of late in terms of offense. It looks like as Jason Robertson gets traded to the Montreal Canadiens with a 3rd and a 4th for Nick Suzuki and Sam Steele. That's a pretty big trade. Pretty big one indeed. There was also Delorier, a 3rd in London to Boston for Hampus Lindholm, Justin Falk in a 5th round pick. Interesting. And also another one. Wow, a lot of big trades in this deadline. Apparently, Jonathan Drouin to Vancouver from Seattle for some prospects in a 2nd. And yeah, those are the 3 big trades at the deadline this year. Interesting. Yeah, Vance is definitely helping this team get into a chance to being in the playoffs, but I need the Wild to lose a bunch of games. Now, what's good about the Wild, though, they have 69 points, which is only 4 more points than us, but they have 4 more games played than us. So basically, with the games in hand, we need to take advantage of those so we could get in and knock the Minnesota Wild out of the playoffs. So there is a good chance we could end up knocking them out. We just need to continue winning games. I am really surprised we're in a predicament still that we could end up making the playoffs. Let's go to this game against New Jersey. Take it a little bit slow just because obviously we want to make the playoffs maybe. Hayes has been injured till April the 4th. Is this the time to call up Recchi? Is this the time to call up Recchi? Or do I give a chance to Stenlund? I think this is the time to call up Recchi and give him an opportunity. Yeah, we're going to give Recchi an opportunity. Let me just throw Stenlund in all the lines for now. But I think I am going to give Recchi an opportunity to play down the stretch. How much games have we played in the NHL this season? Out of curiosity. 61 games. So he's going to get the last 21 games or until the injury is done, basically. But yeah, Connor Recchi's going to get an opportunity here. I want to see what he's made of at the NHL level. And we're going to put him obviously in a spot to succeed right away. So I'll call him up. And then I'm going to have to throw somebody onto that AHL top line for now, but that's okay. We'll just throw whoever is scratched, which is Nikitin, who's a grinder. We'll just throw him into that top line. And then Stenlund is going to get replaced by Recchi. And where does Recchi fit the best? The 3rd line, okay. Which means I guess we will move Khrushchev or Reichel down. Yeah, Khrushchev or Reichel would probably be better down there. Kachuk doesn't work that well there. It does give us a minus on the 4th line, but it's not the end of the world. I could move Recchi into the top 6 if he fits up there. Does he fit up there that well? He actually fits well on the top line. Let's leave Recchi on the 3rd line for now. I don't want to overuse the guy. And I am going to give him some power play time as well. Instead of Connor Zary, I think. Yeah, instead of Zary. I just want to see what we could do with Recchi. See if he could get ourselves some offense. And we're going to put him on the penalty kill as well, maybe, too. Because he's getting a little trial error. Oh, he actually is automatically thrown on the 3rd penalty kill. I like it. Okay, so Connor Recchi getting a chance to play here with that injury. And we need to stop the simulation. And did Recchi already play a game? Goddamn. I wanted to do a slow simulation. I don't think he did. Right? Just got to make sure he didn't play a game because I want to see his NHL debut. See what he could do in terms of offense and stuff. No, he hasn't played yet. Okay, good. Okay, so we're going to get to see what Recchi is made of. Very excited to see what he does in his debut. This might be a little bit of a longer episode, but it is what it is. We are fighting for our playoff lives. We're 3 points back still, and we have 4 games in hand on the Wild, which is good. 50 points in 61 games for Vance. Let's see what Recchi does in his first ever NHL game. Will he do as good as Ukraine Wayne from Johnny's series? Because I watched a little bit of that recently just to see what it was like. So let's see what Recchi does in his first NHL game on home ice. First period, 2-1 LA, not great. Haltonen scores on the power play, nice. Can we get back into this game's second period? 3-1. Oh no, this is going to be probably a loss, which is not good because we don't need losses at this stage. But yeah, maybe it wasn't a great idea to call up Brecky. I don't know. This is just one game though, so there's Cale Makar scoring on the power play. So our power play's got 2 goals in this game, so that's great to see. 5-2. Geez, Comesso's having a rough time in this one. LA must be a pretty good team. And yeah, we're going to lose this game, but let's take a look at how Recchi did in his debut. Did he get any points? He did not. Let's take a look at his point totals, or his stats. Wow, Vance was a -3 in that game. Jeez. So Recchi was -1, had 2 shots on goal. Not bad. Didn't take any face-offs, so okay, it's a little bit of a average first game, but that's okay. We'll see if he ends up scoring any goals down the stretch while we have this injury, because he's going to get the play all the way till the 4th, and then we'll send him back down to Rockford. Okay, let's continue simulating, see if this team can find a way into the playoffs, because this is a tight race right till the end. If we could take advantage of these games that we have in hand on the Wild, then I think we are going to be a playoff team, but it's going to be really tough. Come on, boys. There's an OT win. Nicely done. And now Edvinson's been injured. Why are we getting slammed with injuries right at the worst time possible? We won a couple games and lost a couple. Brad Lambert was never injured. There's another win. Let's go. 3 points back still of the Wild, and we have 3 games still in hand. When are we going to get the past Wild? Probably in games played or tied with them. Probably during this stretch, because we have 3 games in a row almost. So this is the time we want to take advantage of these games. If Minnesota's not playing in any of these 3 days, this is where we're going to start to catch up to them in games played. So we need to definitely win these ones here. Or it's the next week when that happens. But let's see if we can win both of these games back-to-back, or at least get 3 of a possible 4 points. Because these games are crucial. Come on, boys. Let's get them done. Yes, there's 2 wins. Huge performances from the guys. We're up to 76 points. We're only 1 point back now of the Wild with 2 games in hand. That is huge. It's going to come down right to the last game of the season, it feels like, at this rate. Okay. Let's do this game against Colorado, see if we could get that to get another game won. Edvinson is back. That is good news. Let's throw him in instead of Isaac Phillips. Come on, Edvinson, go in, please. Thank you. Yeah, I wonder how Recchi is doing. I really want to check his stats right now, but I want to wait till the end of the season, probably. No, I don't need to claim Braden McNabb on waivers. We lose 6-3 to Colorado. That's not good. We're still 3 points back, but we do still have 2 games in hand. These 3 games are pretty crucial. Come on, guys. 2 of them are on our home ice. Let's see if we could get some wins here. We beat Dallas. That's a good way to start it off. We lose to Calgary. That's not good. Gavin Hayes is back, which means Recchi is going to get sent back down, I think. Or I could send somebody else down instead. I'm going to send Stenlund down instead, I think. Yeah, I'm going to keep Recchi up here. I'm going to keep Recchi up here for the playoffs and stuff like that if we make it. Like, he should be still technically considered a rookie next year, I think. So, Stenlund clears waivers. That's good. But I don't think... I don't know who I should be scratching on this 4th line. Probably Olsen for Hayes. That looks better. Yeah, I think... I think I'm going to run Recchi, though, for rest of the regular season and playoffs. He might be considered still a rookie next year. But, yeah, I think that should be good. I think Recchi's probably doing good down here, so... Oh, back-to-back losses. That's not good, boys. It's not good at this stage. We're 2 points back. We have the same amount of games played as the Preds. We're 3 points back of the Predators, or the Wild, with 2 games in hand still. We might literally just leapfrog a team at the end of the season. Down to the final 10 games. Jeez, this is coming down to the last game, huh? Almost. Hayes is back in already. Oh, but this is a big game against the Preds there. We don't play the Wild the rest of the time this season, though. So let's get these 3 games done. These are huge 3 games. Come on, boys. Let's get into the playoffs. Shootout loss. At least it's a point. Recky's already in. And a win and a loss. It's not terrible. Hey, we're in a wildcard spot now. We're up 1 point on the Preds with the same amount of games played. Still chasing the Wild for the 3rd spot in the division. I'm surprised that we're actually almost able to get into this race. Because at the start of the season, it just felt kind of weird. But we're almost finding a way to squeak in, which might give us a good chance this year. Let's do another 3 games. This is a big stretch, boys. Lost to Buffalo. Lost to LA. Not good. And win over Vegas 4-0. That was a huge win there. And we're still in the wildcard spot. Same amount of points as the Preds, but same amount of games as well. Only 1 game back of the Wild now, and we would probably be tied with them if we win our next game as well. Oh, yeah, that game against the Preds is going to decide who makes the playoffs, I think, almost. I almost don't want to do real-time simulation because last time we did that, we lost. Game against Colorado. Come on, guys. This is huge. Hey, overtime winner. Whoever scored that OT winner, that might be the difference between missing the playoffs and making it. We have knocked the Wild down to the wildcard spot, and we are now in 3rd in our division with 85 points. We're 12 points back of the Avalanche, yet we're in the 3rd spot in our division. This is coming down to the wire. This is a huge game against the Preds, guys. I'm not going to do a real-time simulation because I feel nervous about doing one. So, I feel like, I don't know if I should or not. Maybe I will. Yeah, let's do a real-time simulation. Why not? Risk it for the biscuit, guys. Let's see what happens. First period against the Nashville Predators. A tough game. It's 1-1. Fabro scores, but Pettersson scores, which is good to see Pettersson scoring because this guy's not necessarily the best offensive player, but he is pretty solid defensively and in terms of winning faceoffs. Can we get the lead in the second? Second period, 3-1. Let's go. Makar and Korchinski, 2 offensive defensemen, I think. And we are now up by 2 goals. We are outshooting 20-19. Can we lock this down? A win here might clinch us a playoff spot as Forsberg makes it 3-2. That's not good. Gerard makes it 4-2. Literally all of our offensive defensemen have scored goals in this game. Which is good to see that we have offense from our back end like that. Come on, boys. Lock it down. Hey, Nazar scores and makes it 5-2. 6-2 Kurashev. Let's go. We're going to make the playoffs, I think. Let's go. That's a huge win and a statement win for the Chicago team. Let's go. There's all the points in case you guys want to see that. Looks like Kurashev had a good game. Same with Hayes, Nazar as well. So some good depth scoring in that one. And yeah, good effort from Comesso as well. Okay, so did that clinch us a playoff spot? Yes, it did. We have clinched a playoff spot with 2 games left in the regular season. Let's go. Let's get the rest of this done, and then we'll take a look at player stats. But I am excited to see what Recchi has done up here in the NHL. Donald Little, was he ever injured in the AHL? I don't remember. He was, because Ludwinski was where he was, I think. Or no, it was where Nikitin is. Right. So there you go. Donald Little is back in the lineup. That's good that we made the playoffs. And there's 2 shootout losses, but at least there are more points. So we finished 40-33-9. So not the best season, but maybe that gives us a better chance in the playoffs. The Predators end up missing by 2 points because the Wild take that last wild card spot. Oh, what a season. What a weird season. We didn't make any trades, though, so now it's all about relying on the guys that we started the season off with. Let's take a quick look at our standings and player stats, and then we'll see who we're facing in the first round. So, in terms of the entire league, we finished 17th, yet we made the playoffs. We did score more than we allowed, so it looks like our offense definitely improved, but we still weren't the best offensive team in the league easily. We were like mid-table. Goals against per game wise, we look like we are a pretty solid defensive team. Since that new coach got brought in, yeah, pretty solid defensive team, like mid-table as well. Power play percentage still maintained itself with the new coach as well. We were the second best team on the power play behind only the Colorado Avalanche. And our penalty kill improved drastically. Yeah, our penalty kill improved drastically with the new head coach. And also with Recchi getting put on the penalty kill maybe helped out too. Like, it wasn't the best penalty kill by far. Like, it was probably bottom 10. But 82%, and it started off at like 76%, I think. So, drastically improved. Yeah, a little bit of a weird season, but maybe now we have a good chance of winning the Stanley Cup because we had a weird season. I don't know. Holy shit, Vance hit 47 goals. He only had 18 assists, though, so 65 points. But Asher Vance is looking like a goal scorer now. He's starting to take off, and I am really glad I locked this guy up for the next 8 seasons starting next year. If he's going to score like that, 19 power play goals, and he had a shorthanded goal even as well. Let's go, Vance. 100 takeaways. Wow, not bad. That's pretty good for a sniper to have 100 takeaways. Like, if we played him at center and he won a majority of his draws, he could even be like Selke candidate, maybe. I don't know. Byfield, 62 points, not bad. Pettersson, 47 points. That might be a career high. Or close to one. Nazar, 47 points. Ooh, the minuses on those guys, though. Minus 19 for Nazar. Some of these plus minuses are not great, but the depth scoring is pretty solid. Zari, 45 points. Lambert, 37. 25 for Reichel and Khrushchev. Carlson only played 3 games. Kachuk, 22 points. Not bad. Olsen played 72 games and had 19 points before I scratched him. Haltonen, 69 points. Let's go. Very nice. Yeah, he's definitely getting better. I'm glad I have him already locked up as well. Haltonen again. Hayes, 21 points, 71 games. And look at that. Connor Recchi got called up and put up 8 points in 21 games. Only shot 5.6%, but he did have a power play point. Had no short-handed points. And his takeaway numbers were really good. 33 takeaways in that span. He did also have a fight already in his career, which is interesting. He only blocked 1 shot. What the heck? What's his shot blocking? Shot blocking, 81. But he only had 1 shot block in however many games he played in 21 games. Interesting. But he did take away with the puck more than he did play games. So he might be a very solid defensive player for us for years to come. But good to see he scored some goals and had some points. But obviously he's going to get more ice time as he develops even better. Maybe he'll be like a career second liner or first liner. I don't know. Cale Makar hit 60 points this year. Good to see him pick up in that second half because he was only on pace for like not that much. Gerard hit 43 points. Gorchinski, 33 points. Brunstrom, 33 points, but a minus 16. Yikes. Regula and Edvinson, 12 and 11, and nothing for Phillips. Can't talk for some reason. Comesso, not the best season, but look at Tarasov. Wow, Tarasov was fantastic as a backup, a 931 save percentage through 25 games. Interesting. So there's our players' stats. Let's take a look at the entire league quickly as well. Yeah, I'm sorry that this episode is long, but some of you guys like these 40-minute episodes, so there you go. Alex Turcotte led the league with 108 points. Not who I was expecting. Bedard up there, Matthews, McKinnon, Kreider, and Svechnikov. Most goals, Alston Matthews with 59, but Vance was top 6 in goals with 47. So that's good to see. Vance might win a Richard at some point. Defensively, the best is Morgan Riley with 68 points. Best goalie for wins, Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen with 45. But Vezina candidates-wise, you're probably looking at, John Gibson or Jari. It might be Jari. Yeah, it might be Jari because of that goals against. Any goalie goals this season? No. Most goalie assists, 5 assists from Jake Ottinger. Jeez. And the best rookie this year in points was Richard Skula in Philadelphia. Let me take a look at Selke candidates just to see if anybody's up there. Let's see. Takeaways. Look at the face-off percentage. Got to do what Sin does. Fawcett, probably. Yeah, probably Fawcett. Maybe. Actually, no, Reefers. Yeah, it's got to be Emil Reefers. 55.8% on the draw. Or it might be Anton Lundell didn't take enough face-offs. Or it could be Elias Lindholm easily, too. Or this guy, it's Alex Barkov again, probably. 57.6% on the draw. Jeez. Okay, so that was that. Let's take a quick look at who we're playing in the first round, and then that'll be it for this episode because it is already running almost around 40 minutes, I think. We're going to be taking on the Colorado Avalanche. So Cale Makar gets to play his old team, our head coach, which we brought in. He's going to be getting to play or coach against the team he used to play for. Interesting. Let's take a look at what the Avs are made of without Cale Makar and Sam Girard, since we brought both of them in from there. Gustav Landeskog, McKinnon, Nishushkin, so good top line. A very solid second line with Martin Kaut, Alex Newhook, and Nick Schmaltz. Third line, Frank Vetrano, Brock Nelson, and Sammy Blais. And a fourth line of Wade Allison, Lias Anderson, and Mason Shaw. This is a very old forward core. The youngest players on this forward core are Kaut and Newhook, and they're both 27 and 28. So that's an old team right there. Defensively, they still do have Devon Toews, who's 34. Bowen Byram's probably their youngest player at 26. They also have Hugh Levy and Eric Gustafsson, and a top six of Jake McCabe and John Klingberg at 35, who's dropped down so badly. Wow. So our former player Jake McCabe's over there, which is interesting. He's been there for only one season. He has bounced around a little bit, but that is where McCabe is at this point. Goalie-wise, they have Sorokin. I think I remember them having Sorokin. Did we play them before in the playoffs years ago? I think we did. And they also have Caden Primo. Yeah, I think I remember playing them in the playoffs for some reason. They do have an injury to Nino Niederreiter, so yeah, their forward core even gets older with Niederreiter in the lineup. They also have Nick Ritchie as a scratch and Jean-Luc Foudy. So, yeah, very old veteran team, and we got to definitely find a way to shut down McKinnon. Because if we can't shut down McKinnon, he is going to go off and he's going to be very tough to beat. So, anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of our Chicago Blackhawks franchise mode. So, next episode, we'll take it to the first round against the Colorado Avalanche and see if we could beat the Cheese team to knock out a higher seeded team. So, I guys think down below, and I'll see you guys next time.